So good morning, you guys. I'm glad we all made it. Did anybody shovel?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a little bit of shoveling. Yeah. So it was kind of if you got out early enough, the snow was pretty light. But if you got out a little bit later, it
Oh,
did
yeah.
get a little bit heavier. So if you
Thank
got
you.
to move some more snow, Jim, that looks great. By the way,
This is
if you got to move some more snow, make sure you lift with your knees, right? So remember that, kind of not lifting with your back. Um, so we had last week we worked a little more on the lower body. We did some work with standing warriors and seated warriors, and I got some feedback that people enjoyed that and would like more of that. So today we're going to kind of pick up in that same vein. I'll make sure we do some work to strengthen. You know, I talk about this all the time, that the quadriceps muscles, those are the muscles here in the tops of the thigh, in the tops of the legs, the front of the thighs. These are the muscles that keep you active. You know, going up and down stairs requires strength in these muscles. Sitting and standing, you know, just shifting your weight and coming up to a standing position. It's really all about strength in these muscles. The antagonos is actually the hamstring muscles in the backs of the thighs. So we really need to make sure we have balance there, that we've got strength and flexibility in both the hamstring muscles in the backs and the quadriceps muscles in the front. Warrior poses are great for that, right? So when we stand with a knee bent, we come into this position. I have to have the muscles here in this thigh active in order to keep my knee in a good position. Likewise, when we're standing with the legs farther apart, we get some stretching in here as well. So warrior poses they're a good all-around kind of posture for the thigh muscles. So I just wanted to open with that, and let's start now with a little bit of meditation. So if you want to come right up to the front of your chair and have your feet underneath your knees, shoes on or off, completely up to you. I'm keeping shoes on here today at the senior center. And just make sure you can feel the weight in your sitting bones. So sometimes we tend to sit more on one side or the other. See if you can get that weight kind of even between the right and left sitting bones. And then notice if you're leaning forward a little bit, which we tend to do, and then see if you can come back so that you're lining up your shoulders on top of your hips. And then watch your head. So this is often our posture. Chin is lifted. When I say to people, lengthen your neck, I'll often see people kind of do this. And really what we want to be doing is lengthening the back of the neck. So you almost want to push your chin in a little bit and then lift up through the top of your head. And that lengthens the right side and left side, the front and the back all kind of simultaneously. Now, if that creates some sort of rigidity in the muscles in the shoulders and the neck, I'm just going to ask you to relax that a little bit. And you might imagine your head like a water balloon. It's just perched right on top of your shoulders. And if you haven't already closed your eyes and gone to that inner space, I'll invite you to do that now. And shift your attention from your physical body now to your breath. And just notice the way the air is moving in and out. For those of us with a mask, you may not notice a big temperature difference as you breathe in and out. For those who are not masked, you might notice that the air that you breathe in is significantly cooler than the air that you breathe out. And notice if the breath is flowing easily between the right nostril and left nostril, or if one side feels a little more open than the other. And notice the depth of your breath. Can you feel it into your chest, into your ribs, into your belly? And notice how quickly or slowly you're breathing. And now begin to consciously deepen the breath so that as you inhale, you feel the belly, the rib cage, and the collarbone areas all expanding. It's like a balloon that's expanding with each breath in. And as you exhale, feel those areas start to deflate. So there's an inflation and a deflation to each inhalation and exhalation. And see if with each breath in and out, you can lengthen the time it takes to inhale and exhale. So you want to slow it down. Slowing down each breath in and out. And if it's comfortable, create a little restriction at the back of your throat and see if you can hear a little sound. Now, if your mind starts to wander away, just bring your focus back to your breath. Every breath in and out, long, slow, and deep. And after your next exhalation, you can let go of the control of your breath. Just allow your breathing to normalize. Let it go back to how you naturally breathe. No need to interfere in how the breath is moving in and out of the body. And notice if you're just a little more aware of your breath. And then let your eyes gently open. Take your hands from your lap, and we're going to just start with some movement for the fingers. So squeezing and extending the fingers. It was been really cold the last couple of days, going to continue to be a little bit chilly. So warming up the fingers, always a good thing to do. Get some blood circulating there in the little digits. Good, and then let's extend and then bend at the wrists. So make sure you all can see at home. So bending and extending. You might hear some noise in there. And wrists can be a little snappy or crackly. And then start to circle around. And reverse direction. Good. And then let's extend the arms and press the fingers up toward the ceiling. Spread them nice and wide. Bring the fingers down and up. And so this is with the elbows straight. Before it didn't really matter, but right now what we're working are muscles that come right up above the elbow, getting right up into those muscles above the elbow. And the next time that you have your hands up, we're going to hold here, take your left hand over and pull back on your right fingers. Now keep that right elbow straight. If really straight is too hard, you can give it a little bit of a bend, but the straighter you can keep your elbow, the better. And keep that shoulder down away from your ear. Breathe in, breathe out, and pull back on those fingers. Sometimes you can get a little more flexibility in the wrist by engaging this stretch reflex in the hand. Make sure you get that little finger in there too, because the little finger is notorious for wanting to just opt out of this. And then we'll just release that. Let the fingers come down toward the floor. Now take your left hand and pull on the back of the hand, not on the fingers, but on the back of the hand, so that you're getting that nice break in the wrist there. Breathing in, breathing out, and once again, trying to keep this elbow as straight as you can. That allows the stretch to move up, not just into the lower arm, but into the upper arm. It crosses the elbow. And this is where, when we get tendonitis in the elbow, this is where we want to make sure we get the stretch going. Breathing in and breathing out. We're going to release that. Let's take the left hand, do the same thing. So fingers up. Let's keep the elbow straight and then pull back on the fingers. Get them all there. So don't worry about the thumb. The thumb doesn't really need to do this. So it's just those 4 fingers. Breathing in, breathing out. Great. Watch that shoulder, that it stays relaxed. Pull back a little more if you can. So just give it a little extra. And then release that. Let's bring the fingers down. We're going to push on the back of the hand. So right on the back of the hand where it's a lot more bony here. And once again, trying to keep that elbow straight. That helps with the stretch. Bring it up across the elbow and into that upper arm. Good. And then let's release that. Let's circle both wrists around a little bit. So we got the fingers and the wrists, and now we're going to work a little bit on those elbows. So let's extend the arms out to the sides, drop the shoulders down away from the ears, and then we're just going to bend and extend. So fairly easy, going at a pace that feels comfortable. If it's too fast, go a little slower. Great. And then the next time you tap your shoulders, we're going to go right up overhead and down and go out to the sides and up. So it's just this nice, easy movement. Now, if it's really challenging to get the arms up overhead, you don't have to go quite so high. You can actually go out in a wide V, right? So I'll just show you that again. So a nice wide V, that works. If you can get the arms up overhead, go ahead and do that. So sometimes the shoulder joint gets a little persnickety. If you were shoveling, I know for me, my right shoulder, because that's my power shoulder when I'm shoveling, that gets a little sore and angry at me. Next time you have your hands on your shoulders, we're going to hold here, and then we're just going to kayak the arms. So it's like you're paddling a kayak, right? Maybe going forward, maybe going backwards. Again, just kind of pay attention to the shoulders. What are they saying to you this morning? This feels good or this doesn't feel good. Just honor that, and then reverse direction. Once again, can be a little noisy in the shoulders, so don't worry about that. All right, and then let's release and relax that all the way down. Let's take the right arm. We're going to sweep the right arm up and around. You can go forward or backward, whatever feels good. And now as you're sweeping, we're going to twist the body. As you go back, twist to the right, and as you come forward, twist to the left. Breathing in and breathing out. And the more you twist your body, the more you're getting a little workout for the waist, and the sides of the ribs. And the next time your arm is down toward the floor, switch the direction of your circle. So if you were going backwards, now go forward. If you were going forward, now go backward and twist the body and breathe as you do. Great. And then the next time the arm comes down, we're going to go right over to the other side. So left arm up, maybe forward, maybe backward, twisting the body. As you come forward, go to the right. As you come backward, go to the left. And the next time your arm is down, we're going to reverse direction. Sweeping around the other way. Nice. Okay. One more time all the way up and around. And then you can bring that hand back down to your lap. Good. Now let's bring the shoulder tops up to the ears. Squeeze your shoulder tops up as hard as you can. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then we're going to drop them really quickly as we exhale. Let's squeeze and breathe and keep squeezing and breathing. And the next time you exhale, drop your shoulders really quick. And one more time, lift and squeeze and breathe in and out. And next time you exhale, drop real quick. Okay. Let's take the hands together in front of the heart. And we're going to interlace the fingers, press the palms away, and drop your chin to your chest, round through your upper back. So really rounding through the upper back, dropping the chin all the way down. Breathe in, breathe out. As you next inhale, we're going to release the arms and come all the way up. Good. Let's take the hands right alongside the body with the elbows bent and make like a light fist with your hands. So your forearms are parallel to the floor. In other words, you don't want them way up here. You want to have your forearms kind of parallel to the floor. Now, with every inhalation, what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and bring the elbows back like you could touch the elbows behind your back. And then as you exhale, you're just going to come forward. Right? So inhale, press the chest forward, exhale. Good. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. It's like you're trying to get your elbows to touch back there, right? And let's get the back involved in this too. So it's not just the elbows. So as you come forward, round through your back a little bit. And as you pull the elbows back, really arch your back. So breathe in and breathe out. Good. Try not to let your chin lift way up toward the ceiling. So this is about the back, not about the neck. Most of us have lots of flexibility in that neck, not so much in the back, right? So a couple more of these. And one more. Excellent. Okay, release and relax that. Take the right arm all the way out to the side, like you're saying stop. And then we're going to bring that arm all the way up overhead. Bend your elbow and see if you can get the palm of your hand to your face. Right? Breathe in, breathe out. Let's inhale, arm up. Let's bring it all the way down. We're going to do this a few times. Ready? So inhale, arm up, palm away from you. Bend your elbow and then see if you can get that palm of your hand close to your face. It's kind of tough to do. So we're asking the elbow, the shoulder, and the wrist to do all of their fanciest work. Right? And one more time, we're going to do this. Coming all the way up, bend the elbow so you can get the palm of your hands to your face. Great. And then up and around. Let's go to the other side. So we're going to bring the arm up, bend the elbow, bring that palm of that hand as close to your face as you can. Up, out, and down. So the palm is facing away from you, right? Yeah, that's what makes this tough, is that palm facing away. Good. Couple more of these. Great. How about one more? Yeah, a couple is kind of vague, so. Okay, excellent. Let's shake things out a little bit. How are your arms feeling right now? Yeah, shoulders feeling okay? Do we have one more in us for shoulder things? Okay, so this one's a little trickier. It's the same principle as what we just did, but there's another little catch to this. So what I'm going to have you do is bring your first fingers and your thumbs together, like you're doing the okay sign, right? So we're going to bring the arms down by the sides. Breathe in, breathe out. As you bring your arms out to the sides and all the way up, keep the okay signs going. Keep the palms of your hands up toward the ceiling, and you're going to bring your hands down and see if you can make little glasses for yourself. Not like this, but like this. So you get your fingers on your chin. Whew, right? Let's go up and out. We'll do this a couple of times because there's a brain piece of this too, right? So first fingers and thumbs together. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms come up, palms of the hands up toward the ceiling, fingers facing each other, right? Even if you're down here. So I'll do it way down here. And now see if you can take your hands. So the palms are right here on your chin or on your face, and you've got the little spy glasses here. It's tricky. And release and come all the way up and down. How about one more time, you guys? So first fingers and thumbs together. Breathing in, breathing out. Bend the elbows. Going up and around here. Beautiful. Release your arms up and around. Oh, now how do your shoulders feel? Okay. Yeah. All right. So that actually works when we do this movement and we kind of get the fingers involved here. It's working the nerves all the way down your arm. So it's helpful we don't often think about exercising our nerves. There's a term in physical therapy called flossing, and that is how you get nerves either deconditioned or reconditioned. So that's kind of what we were doing there. All right, so let's shift gears a little bit and we'll move toward the lower body. Let's take the right leg, extend it out. So you need to be up really close to the front edge of your chair. Have your knees straight. And we're going to start with the toes, just like this. I'm just showing you with my hand because I got my shoe on. So we're squeezing and extending the toes, breathing in, breathing out. And then we'll point and flex the foot. So we've got some movement at the ankle. Good. And then circle that ankle around. Now you can circle on the floor, especially if you're, having some trouble with your hip or your knee, and it feels better to have that ankle, that heel on the floor rather. You can do that. Reverse direction. Good. Okay, and then let's have that heel right down there on the floor. Bring your hands alongside your body and have your hands resting on the chair. If you press down a little bit, that'll help with the spine being nice and tall. Pull your belly in slightly so we're engaging those lower abdominal muscles, and we're going to bend and extend the knee. Bending and extending. Now talk about noisy. Knees can get pretty noisy. So you might hear clicking, clunking, little grinding noises in there, and generally noise without pain is fine. It's just how we are, right? Next time you have your knee bent, I'm going to have you bring your foot to the floor and then wiggle or slide that foot back, stretching the bottoms of your toes. Now, if you go without shoes, you're going to get a much better stretch. Those of us who have shoes on, we're not getting too much of a stretch here in the bottom of the foot, but we're going to do the best we can. So with your hands here alongside you, you're going to push your knee down toward the floor and then lean back slightly with your upper body. Breathe in, breathe out. So there's a bit of a stretch here through this right side, and then come up and release that pulling of the knee toward the floor. So we'll do this several times. So press the knee toward the floor, lean back with the upper body, and then come forward and relax. Breathing in, breathing out. So we're going to do this 2 more times. Great, and last time, pressing the knee to the floor, leaning back, and coming all the way up. Excellent. Okay, so let's take that foot now, slide it out. We're going to extend that leg, have the heel on the floor. Once again, the hands here right alongside you. Body is nice and tall. Pull the navel in toward the spine. We're going to lift and lower the heel to and from the floor. You don't have to lift really high. So some of us, we have a lower range, but we're still working the muscles here. Yeah, right in the front of that thigh. These are the quadriceps muscles. This is one of the best exercises you can do to build quad strength. Next time your heel is on the floor, I'm going to ask you to rotate your leg so that your foot, excuse me, is out to the little toe side. So if you look at your foot, it should be at about 2 o'clock. You're going to hold your foot in that 2 o'clock position. We're going to lift and lower the heel to and from the floor. Now watch your posture, that you don't lean back or kind of round through your spine. So that's why I like to keep my hands here, because it just reminds me of where my spine needs to be. Couple more. Great. Last one. Excellent. Bend the knee, bring that foot in, and then we're going to lift and circle that leg around. A little bit of work on the hip joint. Some of the muscles that come up into the outside of the hip, and reverse direction. Excellent. Okay, let's take that leg. We're going to cross it over the other one. So if crossing knee on top of knee doesn't work for you, you can cross ankle on top of ankle. So all we're going to do here is squeeze the inner thighs together. So you can do that with the leg crossed at the ankle as well as at the knee. You're going to squeeze the inner thighs together, side of the right foot as close to the outside of that left lower leg as you can get, right? Press your hands into your thighs, sit up nice and tall. So get a little bit taller. Good. Let's take some deep breaths in and out. Still pressing the thighs together. We're going to hinge forward from the hips. So from way down here, like you're trying to bring your navel down onto your thighs. And then come back up. So slow and steady. Breathing in and breathing out. Doesn't matter when you inhale and exhale. Keep those thigh muscles active as you're pulling that foot to the outside of the lower leg. Good. Couple more. Going forward and back. Great. And last one, we're going to come forward and back. Excellent. Okay, let's uncross that leg. We're going to extend the left, heel on the floor, squeezing and extending the toes. So just like that, if you can't see what I'm doing here because I got a shoe on. Good. Keep the breath moving. That's the only piece that's really important here because when you hold the breath, it actually signals the nervous system to go into sort of that high alert state, or what they call fight, flight, or freeze energy. So we don't want to do that, especially when we're moving the body. Now start to point and flex the foot. So the more we can maintain a steady, even rhythm with the breath, the more the message gets affirmed to the body that everything is okay, even though this is stressful for the body, right? Because when we're exercising, we're creating a stress in the body, but it's one that we want to have. Let's start to circle at the ankle. It also conditions us on how we respond to stress, right? So if something is hard, we tend to hold our breath. And by holding our breath, again, we signal that fight or flight energy, reverse direction in your ankle. And we get that fight or flight energy going. That makes the stressful situation even more stressful. So the whole idea behind controlling the breath is, one, sometimes it's the only thing I can control because nothing else is in my control. And two, it's a way to break the cycle. So let's have the heel on the floor. We're going to bring the hands alongside the body. Once again, just sort of reminding ourselves here, keep the shoulders down away from the ears, pull the belly in, and we're going to bend and extend. Right? Now you can do this with your foot on the floor if you're having some difficulty with your leg or your hip, right? So I'm just tapping my toe and then my heel. And if it's comfortable and you want to challenge yourself, you can do it without putting the foot on the floor. So it's really up to you. Let's do like a couple more. You might have some noise in this knee. Maybe you didn't have so much in the other knee. And the next time that you bend, we're going to put the foot on the floor so the bottom of the toes are getting a good stretch, and then wiggle, slide, or maneuver that foot back as far as you can. And once again, if you've got your shoes off, you're going to get a little bit better stretch in the bottom side of the foot. So now pull your knee toward the floor, and we're going to lean back with a nice straight back. Try not to let your chin go up, and then come forward and release. So just breathing in, breathing out. This is just a way to get a little bit of more stretch here through the front of the thigh, front of the hip, around the knee. Couple more. Good. How about one more? I think we got it. Yeah. Okay, let's extend that leg. Whew, so really firm up the muscles here in the thigh, and we're going to lift and lower that heel. Once again, making sure your hands are here, belly is firm, so you're actually using some of your belly muscles when you do this. You're primarily using something called your hip flexor muscle. Those are the muscles in the front of your, they go from your thigh to your hip. They're in the front of your hip, and they create flexion. Flexion is when I bring my knee closer to my shoulder. Okay, next time your heel is on the floor, we're going to take that leg and rotate it out to the little toe side. So now if I look at my foot, you should be seeing about a 10 o'clock position with that foot. And we're going to lift and lower in that 10 o'clock position. Now go slowly, right? So we're really challenging those inner thigh muscles a little bit here. So it should be a little bit harder to do it this way. For most of us, that's the case. Couple more. Excellent. One more. Great. And then release that. Bend the knee. Let's lift that leg up and circle around. So we're moving right from one to the next. We're not taking much of a break in here yet. And then let's reverse directions. We go the other way. And you can always bring your foot to the floor if you need a little rest here. That's okay. Couple more. Great. And then let's take that leg and see if we can cross it over the other one. So now we've got the left knee on top of the right knee. If knee on top of knee doesn't work on this side, once again, you can cross right here at the ankle. We're going to squeeze the inner thigh muscles together and bring the outside of that left foot to the outside of the right lower leg. If you're here at the ankle, when you squeeze your inner thigh muscles, you're just bringing your knees closer together. Okay, so breathe in, breathe out. Okay, nice tall spine. Take both hands to the tops of the thighs. And then very slowly, we're just going to lean forward and back. Inhaling and exhaling. This about 5 more times. So you want to keep your back nice and straight and strong. I got to. These lights are super hot up here. If you get cold, if that's like blowing right on you, let me know. So just a couple more. I said 5, and then we just get to whatever we can. And then come all the way up. Excellent. Let's uncross the legs. Bring the feet to the floor. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. And I want you to just notice your body. So all the work we did in the arms and shoulders, the elbows, wrists, and hands. All the work we just did in the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips. Notice what your body feels like. Do you feel warmer? Do you feel cooler? Does your heartbeat feel a little faster, a little slower? Is your breath a little deeper or a little more shallow? It's all kinds of things we can kind of inquire about within the body. And then let your eyes open. Okay, so we're going to move into our first warrior pose, which is a seated posture. So I'm going to have you all turn to the right. And when you turn to the right, bring your head close to the left of your chair so that the back of your right knee is right up against this edge of the chair, if you can. Your left cheek is going to be hanging off the chair a little bit. Hold on with your right hand, and then let's see if we can slide that left foot back. So I'm going to wiggle mine back because I have a rubber sole here on my sneaker. If you have a sock, you can probably just slide it back. Go back as far as you can and straighten your knee. Now, for some people, this is going to be it. That's fine. For some people, we're going to be able to get way back here. And that is going to get a good stretch here. Now, what might happen is as you bring that leg back, your body might want to go forward, or you might feel like you want to arch your back like this. What I'm going to ask you to do, if you're in this arched back position, is to pull your belly in and get your spine up nice and straight. If you're in this forward position, I'm going to ask you to come up with a nice straight spine. Breathe in, breathe out. So holding on to the back of your chair with your right arm, take your left arm forward and all the way up overhead. Try not to arch your back. And then as you breathe in and out, we're going to bring the arm down and up. Breathing in and breathing out. Doesn't matter when you inhale and exhale. We're just doing this movement for the arm. And the next time that your arm is all the way up overhead, let's hold it here and breathe. Press out through your left heel a little bit more and straighten your left leg. Breathe in, breathe out. If you're arching your back, pull your belly in and get your back nice and long. Get your belly long. 2 more breaths if you can. Hold right here. And then lower your arm all the way down. Now keep that leg back behind you. We're going to do something a little different here. So take your left hand, see if you can bring it to the back of your chair, and twist your body to the right as far as you can go. Don't let go of what's going on with that left leg. So we're still straightening that left leg as best we can. You guys are looking great out there. Breathe in, breathe out. And with your next exhalation, let's slowly unwind. We're going to twist around. Let's relax that left leg a little bit. Lean into the right side. So just lean into the back of your chair. Take your left leg, bring it forward, and then scoot around so you're seated forward in your chair. Let your hands rest on your lap and close your eyes. Take a breath in, let it out with a sigh. Ah. And just check in with that left leg, hip, knee, foot, and the right side, the back, maybe the shoulders and the ribs. And let your eyes gently open. So you feel it, do you feel a difference from your right side and left side right now? Yeah. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And I just want to mention that when we're doing the twisting part of this, super important to keep your spine up. So you don't want to be kind of in a collapsed position in your spine. And I'll remind you of that because I don't think I really did on the other side. So we're going to turn the body all the way to the left now and slide your backside to the right edge of your chair. And then you're going to just kind of hang that right cheek off the chair a little bit. Take your left hand, hold on to the back of the chair. It just makes me feel more comfortable. So you're going to slide back. So your backside is all the way over here so that the back of your knee is up against the chair. There you go. Yep, good. Okay, so now we're going to take that right leg and let's extend it behind. And again, if you got a sock on, it's going to be a whole lot easier to just slide that foot back. If you got a sneaker on, you might have to do this little maneuver that I'm doing, kind of wiggling and straightening it out somehow. So once again, on this side, it may be different. You might be able to get that leg really extended and on the other side you couldn't. Or maybe this side is a little more limited and the other side was like whoosh, way out there. So your torso is facing your left knee. You're holding onto the back of your chair. You're pressing out through your right heel. Oh, and you're breathing all at the same time. And we're just going to gently raise and lower this right arm now. So again, working with whatever kind of flexibility, range is available for you on this side. It may be different than on the other side. Quite likely there's at least a slight difference. Maybe it's not too noticeable. And then the next time that arm comes up, let's hold it up. Now, remember, if you're leaning forward, I'm going to ask you to come back a little bit. If you're arching your back, I'm going to have you straighten it a little bit. Breathe in, breathe out. Reach your fingers up a little higher if you can. If that's too much for your shoulder, you can have the arm forward. That's okay. And even you can have your elbow bent with your hand on your shoulder and lift your elbow up if that feels better. So there's all kinds of modifications we can do here. The goal is to stretch this right side from right around the knee all the way up to about the ribs, to be honest. That's the goal. One more breath in and out. And then we're going to release that arm. So keep pressing out through your right heel. Keep that right knee as straight as it'll go. Take your right hand to the back of your chair. Spine is really tall here, and see if you can twist all the way around to the left. So you're trying to look out over the back edge of the chair. That looks wonderful, you guys. Bit more of a stretch here through those hip flexor muscles, right around to the knee, into the lower leg. 2 more breaths. And then slowly unwind. Great. Now lean into the left side of your chair. Relax that right leg. We're going to just kind of slide the right leg and then scoot your backside around till you're seated the normal way on your chair. Have your hands rest on your thighs. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice your hips and your thighs, and that's the front, the inside, outside, and back of the thighs. So remember your thighs, it's 3-dimensional. It's not just the front. Notice your knees, your ankles, your feet, your lower legs, maybe even your rib cage as we came into the twist. Take a breath in and let it out with a sigh. Then let your eyes drift open. Okay, how we doing, guys? Feeling okay? All right, so we're ready to come up to standing, I think. Okay, so let's do this. We've been doing this for many weeks now. We're going to have the feet a little wider than the hips, so maybe like the distance of the chair. For those here, the chair legs are about right. For you folks at home, I don't know what the width of your chair legs are, but let's say it's maybe like anywhere from 18 to 30 inches between your big toes. And instead of coming up, right, so we always think when we're getting off a chair, we want to come up off the chair. I'm going to just ask you to shift your weight forward. Now you can have your hands on your thighs, or you can have your arms reaching out in front. Shift your weight forward till your backside comes up off the chair, and then we're going to come right back down onto the chair. All right, so we're going to do that a few times. So either way, I'm going to demonstrate hands on the thighs, and we're not straightening the legs. We're not actually coming up. We're just coming off. Make sure you know where that chair is, though. Come forward, so that's kind of Superman. Great. And come forward. Excellent. So we're not up. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to come forward. I'm going to just ask you to hover here for a moment. Okay, squatting as low as you can. Breathing in, breathing out, pull your belly in. Okay, now from here, straighten your legs really slowly and come up to standing. Keep your feet right where they are. Bend your knees, lift your tailbone out behind. We're not going to sit, but we're going to come way down. Breathe in, breathe out, you guys. This is hard work. Straight and slow, slow, slow. So the slower you go, the more work these muscles have to do. Great. And one more. So we're just going to squat down. Wonderful. And then we're going to slowly come all the way up. Excellent. Okay, let's bring the feet together. Shake out your legs a little bit and walk around to the back of your chair. Okay, so I've talked a lot about the front of the thighs, quadriceps muscles, the back of the thighs, the hamstring muscles. Another part of the thigh that gets really tight is these inner muscles. They're called your adductor muscles. Think about you're adding your legs together, right? I'm adding my legs together. So it's the adductor muscles that bring them together. So we're going to do some stretching for those adductor muscles and some strengthening. We're going to do that by bringing the feet nice and wide apart. Now, if you're in socks, especially here on this floor, be super careful because you don't want to go into a split. That would be bad. So with your feet, I would say for most of us, we should be able to get at least 24 inches. If you can get like 36 inches between the toes, that's great. The longer your legs, the farther apart you want to be. If you're a little bit shorter, then maybe a little bit narrower stance. Okay, so from here, I'm going to ask you to keep your heels where they are and pivot your toes out, right? So it's like a little ballet kind of position. Now engage the muscles here in your thighs, nice and strong. And think about your body staying nice and straight as you bend your knees and come right down. Plie, right, yes. That's what we're doing. So for those with a dance background, this is a plie, right? Breathe in, breathe out. So you can probably feel those inner thigh muscles working now, right? If you haven't done plies in 50 years or more, yeah, these muscles might be going, what the heck? So the next time that we come down, we're going to hold here. Okay, so breathe in, breathe out. Now I'm going to ask you to keep these muscles really engaged, and your knees are going to want to come forward like this. I'm going to ask you to pull your knees back behind you. So you feel your glutes firing up? Yeah? How's the breathing going? So? Could you tell me a joke if you had to? No, okay. So just let the breath move in and out, and just remember, I talked a little bit ago about being under stress, right? Right now we're under a lot of stress because we're in this position. And so if my breathing gets really erratic, that's going to make the stress of this position even more stressful. So instead, let's deepen the breathing. We're going to do 3 really full, deep, slow breaths here. Breathing in, breathing out. There's a whole lot going on in your lower body right now. There's also a whole lot going on in your mind right now, too. Let's do one more breath. And then let's straighten the legs. Excellent. Using your heels and your toes, walk your feet back together. Let's just kind of march a little bit here. Notice what you feel, right? So do you feel your inner thighs? Are they nice and awake now? Okay. So what we're going to do is take the feet wide apart again, because we're certainly not done. Okay, we're going to work on our standing warriors now. So you're going to take your right foot and turn that right foot toward this outside wall. And as you turn, now I said that wrong actually. It's not just the foot that you're turning, it's actually the whole leg from way up here, right? So if I'm here, so you get this bird's eye view, if I'm here, I want to turn the whole leg from the hip all the way. Now my hips are going to want to go in that same direction, but I got to really work at pulling my hips back to the front of the chair. Right, so I'll show you one more time from here. So I'm turning the whole leg from the hip all the way out, but I'm keeping my torso facing the chair. Back leg, let's bring the heel toward the back wall a little bit more. Excellent. And then let's bend that front knee and then straighten. Now, if you feel like you could bring your feet a little wider apart, slide that front foot forward or the back foot backwards and see if you can come down a little bit more. Let your hips stay squared to your chair. And the next time you bend your knee, hold here and breathe. Now the toes, once again, are facing that wall, engaging the muscles here in the leg and engaging the muscles in the outside of the hip. Pull your knee toward the back wall. So you're pulling your knee toward that back wall. Everybody doing okay with this? Can you feel that in your front leg? In the knee? Yes. Is it pain in the knee or is it just a discomfort in the knee? Comfort. Discomfort is fine, pain, not so much. Okay, we're going to take that right arm and reach it out. Breathe in, breathe out. Turn and look out over your right fingers. Nice, full, deep breaths. Okay, so with your gaze now turn back toward me. And if you'd like, you can take your left hand and reach it out behind you. Now, if that just feels like way too much for a balance issue here, we're just going to hold on to the chair. This is one way to do our warrior. The other way is to have the back arm back, right? So you can do one at a time. Breathing in, breathing out. That's the only thing that's necessary here is to keep breathing in, breathing out. Next exhalation, we're going to release the arms down. Straighten your front leg, but keep your legs in this position. Now with this front leg straight, engage those quadriceps muscles really strong. Make them really, really strong. Take your left hand on your chair, take your right hand, reach it out, and then lean out like you're trying to reach something, and then come all the way back. Breathing in, breathing out. Got that? So keep that front knee straight, not bending this time. So this is a triangle pose. Next time that we reach in that right side, we're going to take the right hand down to the thigh. Okay, so we're here, and then let's see if we can rotate the left shoulder up toward the ceiling and twist the body a little bit in this leftward direction. Great. And then rotate the shoulder forward. We're going to come up, turn the toes in, use your heels and your toes, walking your feet closer together. Let's just kind of step in place a couple of times. Take a moment here and just notice. Right side, left side. What do you notice about your right leg versus your left leg? What do you notice about your hips, the sides of your waist, your knees, your ankles, your feet? There's all kinds of stuff happening on one side that's different than the other because we were kind of transitioned to that right side. So let's do this again. We're going to take the feet nice and wide apart. Okay, we're going to take the left leg, the whole leg from the hip all the way to the toes. Turn, rotate that whole leg out toward the left side. Good. Now the hips are going to want to drift in that position, but we're going to have you keep the hips going toward the chair. And then we're going to take that back foot and angle the heel straight. And bend your front knee and then straighten your front. Now try not to lean forward when you bend your knee. It's like we were doing when we were just bending. So it's like you're coming down like an elevator. So your torso is coming down like an elevator. Next time you bend your left knee, let's hold it here. Good. Now engaging the muscles in the outside of the hip here, we're trying to pull that knee toward the back wall. So I'm going this way. You guys are going that way with that knee. You're trying to pull that knee back. Breathe in, breathe out. Pull your belly in a little bit. Make sure your right leg is straight, not bent. Take your left hand, bring it up to about shoulder height. Look out over your fingers, admiring that length of that arm. Turn your gaze back to me. And then if you can, or you want to, take your right hand off your chair. Maybe bring it out. Maybe just let it hover here on the chair. Maybe keep it right on the chair. Now you might be noticing that it feels different on this side. Maybe you feel more balance. Maybe you feel less balance. Just be careful. You can always bring this hand back and the right arm out. Let's take 2 more breaths here if we can. So those look like beautiful warriors here in the room, and the ones I can see on Zoom look great. So we got all kinds of strong warriors here this morning. And let's relax the arms. We'll bring them right back to the chair. Straighten your front knee. Now, as you straighten that front knee, activate those thigh muscles really strong. Keep that keep that knee straight. And then we're going to take the left hand out and we're going to lean out. Lean out, 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 and then come back. And again, we're leaning out, keeping both legs nice and straight and strong. Next time we lean out, we're going to stay here and take that hand right down the thigh. Now, you might be down to the middle part of your thigh. You might even be down to your knee, whatever works here. And then with your right hand on the chair, we're just going to roll the shoulder open. So it's like you're twisting your upper body, not just your neck. So not this, you guys, not this. But I want to roll the whole shoulder, right? So it doesn't matter where my head is. It's really about that shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. Looks good. Front knee is straight. Back knee is straight. Breath is smooth. One more inhalation and exhalation. Wonderful. And then unwind. Come all the way up. Soften the knees a little bit. Use your heels and toes. Walk your feet together. Let's just kind of march in place a little bit. Take a moment here and notice. Notice your both hips, your thighs, your knees, your ankles, your feet, your back, all kinds of different places in your body that might be affected by this. Let's come right up on the toes and then down. Breathing in and breathing out. We're just going to do this a couple of times, coming up on the toes and then down. Great. And last time, up on the toes and then down. Wonderful. Let's walk around to the front of the chair. And stand with the backs of your knees up close to the seat of your chair. Bring your feet, about 15, 20 inches apart. And then we're going to sit the way that we stood, which is to bend the knees and slowly squat. So don't come down to the chair quite yet. You're going to get into that squat position. Hold here for 2 breaths if you can. And after your second breath, what you're going to do is try and sit without plopping. So go really slowly down. This is great for building quadriceps strength. It's really, really hard too if you've got a knee issue or a hip issue. So I just want to acknowledge how hard that can be. So let's give those legs a little bit of a massage. A little gratitude for all the work they did. Don't forget the insides, the backs. Okay, and then sit comfortably. So if you want to sit into the back of your chair, you can do that. If you want to stay seated up near the front of your chair, you can do that. Take your hands and let them rest with the palms facing down on your lap. Close your eyes. And once again, with your eyes closed, just watch your breath as it moves in and out of your body. Notice if you're holding tension somewhere. So if you're leaning forward, you might be feeling tension in your back. Just kind of sit back a little bit. Your shoulders should be right above your hips if you're not leaning into the back of your chair. And remember, your head is like a water balloon, kind of perched on the top of your shoulders. So it's just this kind of buoyant little bubble up there. As you breathe in and out, notice where you feel movement in your body. Feel where you expand and contract. Notice the temperature of the air as you inhale and exhale. And again, it might be less obvious if you're in a mask. The temperature might not be that different if you're not masked. It's easier to feel that difference. Slow your breathing down. Lengthen each inhalation and each exhalation. Investigate any places in your body that you might still be holding some tension. Your neck or shoulders, your arms, your legs, your hips, your back, maybe your hands or feet, maybe your face. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our faces and we're not even aware of it. Long, slow, deep breaths in and out. Breathing in and breathing out. Feel your body responding to each inhalation and each exhalation. And take your hands to your chest, and as you continue to breathe in and out, feel the movement underneath your hands. Body rising and falling. After your next full deep breath in, let it out with a sigh. And then if you'd like, maybe take your hands together in just a moment here of gratitude. Gratitude to yourself for your light, your wisdom, your compassion, and eternal beauty. And then if you'd like, just opening your eyes, and if you're together with someone in the room, just acknowledging their wisdom, light, compassion, and beauty. And thank you in cyberspace as well. Wow. So I'm going to miss you guys for 3 weeks, right? We won't be together for 3. Yeah, because the next 2 we have holidays. So just hang in there, right? Enjoy whatever you're doing to celebrate or acknowledge. If you are, if you're not, then just acknowledge and celebrate that. So thank you. Thank you. So yeah, so 2021, let's hope it's a better year than this one was.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome, guys.
You've been a lifeline.
Oh, yay. We will see you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Yeah.
All
Stay
right.
well.
Yeah, be well.
Thank you. It's wonderful, Robin.
Bye. Oh, yay.